All right, welcome to another episode from the Chart Readers. It's been a very long time since I've talked about Mullen, but today was an important day, all right? And I'm zoomed out this much for a reason, all right? Since February of last year, all right, today was something we've done for the first time since February of last year. All right, so today very much was an important day for Mullen and legitimately a reason to believe come Tuesday. All right, the big story will be this 50 moving average, the red line that we will talk about shortly. All right. Lucid, I believe, has been making a really nice steady climb. I'll be honest, I took my eyes off that one. I think I saw the charts earlier. Let me just flash it really quickly. I think it's had a nice little daily run. Yeah, look at this thing. Again, actually, just like Mullen, we're coming to the 50 moving average. There's going to be a big story coming on the 50. And hey, since I flashed this, let's just really quickly look at NKLA. Lo and behold, the exact same 50 moving average story. Not as big an uptrend, but I mean, even Mullen didn't necessarily have a big uptrend. But again, today's candle, I actually care way more about the candle than the near 20%, and 20% is huge for sure. All right, so excited to talk about this one, but before we go any further, what are we going to do today? Same thing we always do, right? We'll take a look at the daily and the weekly to see how these things are setting up short term. We have our 5 moving averages. There's not that many, but there are horizontal support and resistance lines I do draw manually myself. And then when we are done up here, we'll use the MACD, RSI, and volume as our lower indicators. Hey, really quickly, if you can please subscribe to this channel, share this video online with your friends, comment good or bad. Look, anything you can do helps me so much with these YouTube algorithms, but for real, just being here, giving me your time is super appreciated, all right? So let's talk about Mullen. And look, if you watch my videos, you know I've been very critical about Mullen, all right? I don't do options. I don't short anything. I never root for a stock to do bad, all right? That said, look, I work hard for my money, all right? I love my parents. They give me a lot of love and support, but I don't got a trust fund, all right? I don't have this infinite amount of money that I can just drop on a stock and watch it just go down and down and down and down and down. That's not what I do, okay? So the one big thing I've been talking about, I talked about it after the first split, before the first split, after the second one, and I'm still saying it today after the third one. Look, bad things happen under the 8 and the 20. You can literally see it from this view right here. Like I started the video basically from February, March of last year, right? All we do is go under the 8, get to the 20, back under the 8, get to the 20, back under the 8, get to the 20, back under the 8, get to, do you see the pattern all the way until today? Okay, until today. Okay, now we have seen it where the drop gets horizontal, then keeps dropping, then gets horizontal, then keeps dropping, then gets horizontal, then gets dropping, then keeps dropping. This one went horizontal and up, all right? This one is making me think some different thoughts, all right? This one just smells maybe a little different, really, because of the volume today. All right, you can see it. Once I zoomed in after these little bigger candles and the rest, right? So once I zoom in, the 50-day average has actually been an impossibility. Even this one, when I click into the biggest volume before today, the volume was 1.5 million. The average 50 was 1.6 million, all right? None of these candles since the year started, right? Since January 2nd, since the year started, inclusive of these ones, none of these have hit the 50-day average except for today. And none of these have broken the 20 moving average and given me a good confirmation candle, except for today. Again, you can see it. Breaks it, that's not a good candle. Breaks it, not a good candle. Breaks it, not a good candle. That's not a good candle. That's a decent one. Doji doesn't count. There's no back-to-backs. And I can keep going if you really want me to, all the way back to February. I'm telling you, this is the most excited I've been about Mullen in a year. all right? The problem, all right, the problem is this 50 moving average line, all right? If you recall, if you go back to a couple videos, all right, I was trying for this one to break so we can go to the 50. I was hoping this would break so we could go to the 50. I was hoping this would break so we could go to the 50. At some point, I started saying, look, the 50 is going to get so close that even if we broke the 20, the 50 might be too close, and then, you know, the cushion isn't there, let alone getting over it, right? Because let's just look at the line. Since right here, we've never touched it. This green candle right here in January 25th of 2023, this was the last good candle over the 50, and then literally we never touch it since. We still have never touched, not even a wick, never touched this red line, right? So to sincerely just believe that this red line is going to give up and run away, I think that's a little cavalier. That said, we're talking about adding more than $1. We're talking about green, 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 red, 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 red. I think there's a really, really legitimate reason to believe this is coming at 10:30 on Tuesday. Again, Monday's a holiday. Monday's President's Day. I guess the line might come. I think this is going to go to $10 on Tuesday. Again, I don't know the math behind this line. I'm looking at a downward slope, right? It's going to open on this day because this one's Tuesday. That looks real to me, right? So I'm just guessing $10. I like this. If this can break $10, oh, this can make some good moves, all right? I'm about to draw some lines. The one thing I want to do, where does this open? 1022. I think that's going to be the alert I set. You can go a little lower, I think. I think you can go a little closer to $10 because, again, I think that's where the 50 moving average is going to open. I'm taking the open of this December 26th candle. In a lot of ways, it's a very arbitrary candle. I'm not looking at the bigger one to the left of it or even to the right of it, which is actually smaller than the one to the left of it if you're looking at the screen, right? But yeah, I think if I can get into this, oh man, it's just red, 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 green, 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 red, 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 green, 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 red, red, red. It could be a very, very fast move to here. I'm going to lower this line here. I think this is the first line. And then I think this is the second line. Yeah. Okay. If this gets over that 10 to 1020-ish range I was just talking about, I legitimately think there's a good shot that this goes straight to 1420. I think it could be a real big 40% pop. Maybe this 1260 will be a little bit of a resistance. I don't know if I should draw it or not. I don't think I'm going to draw it. I don't know if I should lower this 14 number to that 12 number either. Okay, I'll do that. Let's be a little conservative because I'll be honest, it's Mullen. And I say that with love and no offense, but this is a stock that has had three reverse splits in a matter of months after each other. This is a stock that has been falling down all-time lows, right? I mean, this could be a little bit of a fake recovery. There's definitely an option of that, right? So I think being a little conservative with the lines isn't too bad. But one more time, that's a nice, not one more time, this is new. That's a nice divergence on the MACD, all right? It's still negative, but divergence just means two lines going away from each other, and we like green going away from red. I'm seeing green above red on the RSI, and 62 is a very healthy number. This can go to 72 and 82 before we'll probably start worrying, you know what I mean? So the big story will be volume. All right, we need volume. We need volume. I'm going to say it one more time for the people in the back that can't hear me. We need volume on Tuesday. All right, I want 3 million shares. I'm not even asking for a lot. We remember when Mullen was the volume juggernaut, right? So the fact that I'm only asking for 3 million is a little bit, you know, but whatever. We need 430,000 shares. All right, we need 430K shares per hour. That's the goal to get Mullen where it needs to be, and that's going to be over this 2.6 to at least 3. Give me that 3 million on Tuesday. That might take me to, if not a little bit above that 10. Hopefully Wednesday we make the move up here. Listen, I'm going to say it one more time. I never wish bad for a stock. I never want a stock to go down, all right? However, I'm not here to pretend that the 8 and the 20 is easy to break. I'm not here to pretend that reverse splits are okay. I'm not here wishing and hoping, you know what I mean? And this is what I say. You got to make the stock prove itself. All right, your money, it doesn't grow on trees, man. Don't just give it to a stock and watch it burn down. All right, it's the worst thing you can do. I personally have done way too much of that, and I've learned my lesson. You know what I mean? Let's look at the weekly, I guess. Why not? Okay, interesting. What's this 8 moving average at? 955. Listen, look at this thing. This thing has not been over the 8 moving average once, inclusive of this week, all right? If this gets over 955, some real interesting things can happen. All right, where's 955 at? That's still here. I would wait for 10. I think I would wait for 10, but again, the way moving average theory works is if you break the 8, you're going to try to go to the 20. If you break the 20, you're going to try to go to the 50. Do I think we're going to go up here? No way, right? But if we can break the 8, I think there's a decent shot. Maybe we'll try to get to 14. Maybe even try to get to the 20 moving average, which is sitting at 17, just under that 18 line we just drew. So again, we have never closed over the 8 moving average on the weekly, inclusive of this week, since all the way back in February of last year. More than a year, because this is early February. This is the first week of February, all right? So don't just believe that 955 is going to smash and run, but if it does, watch that 10 line, because that's the daily resistance. If the daily and the weekly resistances break, good things tend to happen, all right? Let me know your thoughts. Let me know your opinions, even if you disagree. I hope you subscribe. Let's take a look at LCID, Lucid here. Hey, not too shabby, all right? So really quickly, if you can please subscribe, please give this a share. It does wonders with the YouTube algorithms, all right? So couple immediate things are jumping out at me, all right? You know, it's probably my favorite rhyme of all these videos that I make, right? But red should turn into green. And there was a little bit of a struggle for that to happen, which is really interesting. And I mean, I think this 375, 376 line that I drew, I mean, I don't even know when the last time I covered Lucid. This was an important line. This really was. I actually want to zoom back and just see why. Oh, it was the previous all-time lows number. That makes sense. Look at that. It was the bottom of this November 23. And when that loss, yeah, that was the bad. This is, look, what was once a support will become a resistance. That's just a fact, right? Like, this did not go into all-time lows. It loses the support. All of a sudden, that same support is now a resistance, right? So makes sense that that 3-something line, 370 whatever line was a little bit of a heartache right there. Interesting to see where today closes, because as I zoom in, you can see it a little bit more. We did not break the 50 moving average. We're pennies under it, right? What is it? Literally a penny under it, right? We wanted to close today at 373. Instead, we closed at 371. So we're still under the line, all right? I like this. Give me a second before I say something else. Okay, so unlike Mullen, I don't know if I just covered Mullen, you might have fast forwarded, all right? Mullen has never even touched the 50 moving average since, I mean, early last year, okay? Lucid has made some breaks on the 50 and even recently had a beautiful break of the 50 and actually wicking the 100, all right? So this 50 line has at least been tested before, and I think that's a good thing, all right? I mean, I do, right? I would much rather battle a line that's been hit before because it can only withstand so much, right? It's like a human. You can only take so many Mike Tyson punches before Mike Tyson's going to take you down, you know what I mean? So that's resistance lines included. I will say, I think I think the interesting thing is the fact that, okay, the RSI and the MACD, the reason why I have these two is I like them to say the same thing. This is a beautiful divergence, all right? Green is staying over red. We're actually in the positive. That's real nice. The RSI is actually taking a reversed view, putting the red line over the green line and actually making me wonder if the green line is going to keep going under. A little bit odd to see the disconnect there, okay? I think the other real thing is, man, what is happening to the volume, all right? You must, look, the average 50-day volume is like the C student in a classroom, all right? I'm just asking you to be a C plus student. Just get a little bit over the line. Hey, I would love you to do the B plus A minus days like this, right? But like, this is an F volume day right here. Look how far from the average we are, right? So the fact that we're not hitting the average day, that's not good, all right? I am very glad the 8 and the 20 are holding this, all right? I am. Because again, this stock has been struggling with the 8 and the 20. I mean, since August, right? So I like this change of pace. We got to get over the 50. We do. And if we can get over the 50, it'll help me believe that these lines are going to keep going up. Look, the real money line, in my opinion, is this 100 sitting at 415. All right, I got my line right here at 440 roughly. You can even use that. But if we can break the 100, we're going to go to the 200. All right, and that's the nicer trade to me. All right, so definitely worth hunting the 50 to the 100. Don't get me wrong, but get over that and you'll get a nice little, because again, just look at it. Red, 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 green, 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 red, 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 could be a fast green, green, green up, right? So this unison that's not there, the lack of harmony, the I can't think of a good fancy word, disjunction, I don't know, whatever. That's pissing me off a little bit, I will say that. Did I look at the weekly here on this? Okay, I am looking at a weekly chart that's struggling with the 8 and the 20. That's not good on the daily. That's not good on the weekly. We just go under and over. Under the 8 to the 20. 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 I guess the MACD and the RSI do look kind of nice here, but I'll be honest with you. I'm here looking at a stock that can't consistently, like, what's your 403. I would not trust Lucid under 403. Under 405, 406. Get me over that 20 average line on the weekly, and I think I'll like Lucid a little more. That is roughly, though, again, I think that's the end. It's 450. I don't think I would touch Lucid until 415, 416. I think that's the best place to end this based on the daily and the weekly. Let me know your thoughts. Let me know your opinions. Hey, I haven't heard a thing about Saudi money and Lucid. What's up with the Saudi blank check? Is that still a dream that the longs that are holding, like, is that dead? Is there like negotiations? Like, I have not heard, and I know you remember it, I remember it, this thing right here, right? Like, there was a rumor that the Saudis were going to drop some oil blank checks, right? Like, I can't do that. No one in the world can do that like they can do that, right? And that'll make a stock go up crazy. Let me know what's going on with that, because like I said, I haven't heard much, all right? Last one, hey, real quick, let me know if you agree, let me know if you disagree, all right? I'm telling you, I'm not here pretending I know it all. Let's take a look at NKLA. All right, the 50 moving average is the common theme along these three, all right? Real quick, if you can please subscribe and share, it'd be much appreciated, all right? Man, look at this. All right, I actually might combine this with NKLA. This is jumping out at me again. MACD looks good with green over red. RSI looks bad with red over green. This lack of harmony is upsetting me. These tend to say the same thing, and I think the fact that they're not is kind of throwing me off a bit. But even worse than this is the same inability to break the 50 moving average so a 50-day average of volume for essentially the entire month of February. One day, no, not even this day. Yeah, the entire month of February, we couldn't get over it. And I mean, we barely did it a couple times in January, and the ones that did were pretty much all bad, right? So Volume has been a real issue here. Again, 60 million shares isn't low, don't get me wrong. However, when the expectation is that you're going to hit, look at this, on today, the average was 110 million. We were expecting 110 million. You're a little more than half of that, right? Like that's an F. You're pushing a 50, 60%. That's an F on your little report, right? So volumes is an issue here, all right? And you need good volume to get over moving averages, especially when I look at the 50 and it's been an impossibility since August of last year. We've literally never touched it. That's a big difference between that and Lucid, because LCID, Lucid has gotten over it right here, gotten over it right here, gotten over it right here. Again, this was back in August, but at least it had one more since that August one, right? So NKLA, little bit lagging on the volume, little bit lagging on attacking the 50, but I like the spacing between the 50 and the 100. I do. I think where Lucid has a little less juice, and it makes you wonder if you should wait for the 100 to go to the 200. NKLA, hey, I'm not going to lie. If this thing can break, I'm going to set an alert for 77. If this thing breaks 77 cents, there's a decent shot it's going to come to like 87. If that breaks, there's a decent shot it runs all the way to the 100, around 90 something. Like, that's not a bad spacing right there, all right? So again, sometimes it's worth waiting for the 50 to go to the 100. Sometimes it's just a little too tight, and I think maybe the next one's a little better, right? You just kind of have to figure out what your risk reward is. But yeah, interesting similarities and interesting differences as well as on these NKLA and Lucid charts. Again, kind of the same story, but a little bit different here. Again, look at that. Where Lucid had basically never broken the 20 to get to the 50, this actually did it right here, right? We just talked about it on Lucid, LCID. This thing has never touched the 50 since early 22. All right, 2022 is what I'm saying. NKLA, on the other hand, has actually done some stuff. It's actually gotten to the 50 right here. It's gotten to the 50 right here. It's done it 3 times since Lucid did it 0 times, right? So some interesting differences, some interesting similarities. I think NKLA might be the more immediate one to look at between these two. I think both of them still have some stuff to prove, all right? Let me know your thoughts. Let me know your opinions, even if you disagree. Hey, thank you so much for the time.